Hi there, welcome to our next session on our leadership training. Do listen to the content and don't forget, at the end of the session, there's questions to answer.
If you're a small group or pastorate leader, one of your concerns might be around what to do if pastoral care becomes a bit complicated. In the life of a small group, from time to time, people may go through all sorts of life-changing crises. This might be a challenging personal experience at work or in their families. It might be serious mental health issues, or people may become physically very ill. These sorts of challenges can really affect the life of the group you're leading and put significant pressure on leaders. You may feel that you are being stretched beyond your own emotional capacity to cope or your area of expertise. You may find yourself worrying that the whole group is being affected by one person's journey, or even thinking this is not really what I signed up for in leading a small group. Small groups in church are what we call our first line of pastoral care. They give a place to belong, get to know people, share a journey together of learning, worshipping and growing closer to Jesus. The second line of pastoral care is all about meeting the more challenging situations that may arise in small groups with a sense of confidence and hope. Complex pastoral situations can become very dominating in a small group. Things like extreme anxiety or a diagnosed mental health condition like a personality disorder, obsessive thinking, depression, or even suicidal thoughts might take up a lot of airtime outside the group and within it. Everyone feels out of their depth, and you might fear you're all going to burn out at some point. Occasionally, people may have financial crises or face long-term unemployment or need marriage support, and these can all be significant disruptors in the life of your small group. In the Gospels, we see Jesus looking after his own team's well-being, even as they ministered to lots of other people. In Mark 6, it says, "Then, because so many people were coming and going, they did not even have a chance to eat, he said to them, 'Come with me by yourselves to a quiet place and get some rest.'" Matthew's Gospel says that after Jesus received the news of his own cousin John the Baptist's death, he withdrew for some time on his own. Even the Son of God had too much on some days. It's important to know what you can and can't provide as a leader, what your group can and can't carry, and where to look for extra help and ideas for pastoral care and support. So, what can you provide as a leader in a small group, and where can you go for support and resources? First of all, there's nothing wrong with a close group of people drawing together to help someone get through a tough time. That's pretty much the idea, and it can be a beautiful thing to see in action. In this church, we have some amazing examples of small groups really rallying round someone going through a crisis. They're truly being the church in action, and it's wonderful to see. As a leader, your role should really be to help the small group get into action and work together, not to take on the whole support role yourself. But as a leader, you will also have the well-being of the whole group in mind, which might mean that you are the person who has to make the call and decide if you need help dealing with a situation. Maybe you realise one particular pastoral situation is taking up too much of your own time and you're feeling concerned about your own energy levels and feel anxious yourself. Mental health crises are just the sort of thing that can fall into this category. People with extreme anxiety or depression, perhaps with suicidal thoughts, can be hard on the very small group they most need. Perhaps you notice it's too much of the group's time, too much of the life of the group orientates around one person. Perhaps you notice it's raising the anxiety level of everyone. And sometimes it all comes to a head on a particular evening and it can be quite stressful. Also, people have questions about where God is in it all and feel their prayers are not effective enough. These are important and challenging spiritual questions that are common and understandable. At these points, you may feel that you really need some support for you and the small group in this situation. So here are some things that you can do. First, doctors. If someone is dealing with a mental health crisis, the first thing you should always do is check they're being supported by their family, if that's appropriate, and make sure that they are seeing their doctor. Sometimes we might worry that somehow this is saying that God can't heal or help, but we don't believe that at all. Doctors are an essential part of the picture of support, particularly with mental health crises. Seeing the doctor can activate a whole load of other support, experience and expertise that is often needed. So that's always the first question you ask someone: have you seen your doctor? Secondly, reach out to the congregational leader of your midweek group. This may be community church or High Grove or one of the church plants, or you may be mainly associated with one of the central congregations like the 11 a.m. or the 6:30 service. Let them know what is happening and ask them where you can go for support and resources. Thirdly, you can talk to me directly or one of the other pastoral leaders, and we can make a plan of action for you and your small group. Occasionally we'll write out an action plan and agree it with the different people involved as a way of moving forward. Fourthly, use the resource of the Wholeness course, which happens twice a year at Woodlands Central. It's for the whole Woodlands Church family, and it's an opportunity for people to explore their personal, mental and emotional health and take some time and space out to grow, get prayer, experience the Holy Spirit's transforming power. Occasionally we have the whole small group doing the course together, which can be a really helpful way of growing together, but it also provides an opportunity for individuals to get some personal prayer from someone else. Make sure you use that resource. Number 5, have a look at our mental health website, Whole Minds, which has a lot of resources, stories and articles about managing and finding healing in mental health crises. Number 6, on the Leadership Foundations link that you should have as a small group leader, there are a number of resources you can access, including a sheet explaining some steps for people who are having suicidal thoughts. And number 7, on our main website we also have pages about debt advice, and for this we recommend the CAP Money course, and the link is on the website. And also on the website is a contact form for marriage support. Number 8, and lastly, importantly, we want you to feel you're personally supported in your role as a leader. You may feel you need to debrief with one of the pastors here and have someone pray for you. This is very important to us that the pastors are pastored themselves, so do keep in touch with your congregational leader. Very occasionally, you may feel it's appropriate for a person to leave the group for a while or even permanently. And this is the sort of decision we want to support you in and talk through, so do reach out to us. Ultimately, it's important to know that small groups of friends and supportive people are pretty much the first thing that doctors and mental health experts prescribe for people who are struggling, even with quite extreme disorders. Groups of people that have lives and interests and a different perspective, people that can include those that are struggling, groups that have no expertise other than friendship and fresh perspectives are exactly what the doctors order. So thank you for your leadership, for following Jesus and serving in this way. We're so grateful to you for all that you do to pastorally care for our midweek church community.
There you are, there's the content from the session. Do look at the questions now and fill them in the booklet. Thanks so much.